Most buildings have elevators that follow simple rules. You press a button, it takes you where you need to go. Nothing unexpected. But in one office building, there was an elevator that didn't follow those rules. Because sometimes it would stop at a floor that doesn't exist. Welcome to Tales Beyond the Flame. This story comes from a night security guard working in a multi-story office building. It wasn't anything special, just a standard commercial building with around 12 floors, mostly empty after business hours. His job was simple: monitor cameras, do hourly patrols, make sure nothing unusual happened. And for the first few weeks, nothing ever did. The building would go quiet after 7 p.m. By midnight, it felt completely empty, the kind of silence where even small sounds, like a door closing somewhere far away, would echo longer than they should. It was boring, predictable. Until the elevator started behaving strangely. At first, it was small things. He'd call the elevator to the ground floor, and when the doors opened, it would already be there, as if it had been waiting. That wasn't unusual on its own, but the panel inside would sometimes show a floor number that didn't match anything in the building. Not a real floor, just a blank space where a number should be. Like the display had skipped something. He reported it once, assuming it was a fault. Maintenance checked it the next day. They found nothing wrong, said everything was working perfectly. So he ignored it for a while. Then one night, during his usual patrol, he noticed something that didn't make sense. The elevator was moving. He could see it on the panel above the doors, numbers changing as it traveled between floors. But no one else was in the building. He checked the security cameras. Every floor was empty. No movement. No people. And yet, the elevator kept moving, stopping, then moving again, like someone was using it. He stood there watching the numbers change. 3, 5, 7, 9. Then it stopped. The display flickered, and instead of a number, it went blank. Completely blank. The door slowly opened. He hesitated. There was no reason to step inside. Nothing good ever comes from checking things that don't make sense at night. But part of his job was to investigate anything unusual. So after a few seconds, he stepped into the elevator. The air inside felt colder than the rest of the building. Not freezing, just noticeably different. The kind of cold that makes the back of your neck tense. He looked at the panel. All the normal floor buttons were there, 1 through 12. Nothing unusual. Except for one thing. At the very bottom, there was a button he hadn't noticed before. No number, no label, just a blank, unmarked button. He stared at it for a moment, certain it hadn't been there before. He pressed one of the normal floors instead. Floor 6. The doors closed. The elevator started moving, but something felt off immediately. The motion wasn't smooth. It felt heavier, like it was descending faster than it should have been. He looked at the display. It skipped 2, 3, 4, then flickered, and went blank again. The elevator didn't stop. It kept going. Down. A slow pressure built in his ears as the elevator continued descending. Longer than it should have. Far longer. This building didn't have that many underground levels. It barely had one. He pressed the emergency stop. Nothing happened. He pressed the open door button. No response. The elevator just kept moving. Down. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied, and finally, the elevator stopped. The silence was immediate, heavy. The display above the door remained blank. No number. No indication of where he was. Just nothing. Then the doors opened. Slowly. revealing a hallway, dimly lit, far darker than the rest of the building. The walls looked older, worn, like they hadn't been maintained in years or decades. He didn't step out right away. Something about the place felt wrong. Not dangerous in an obvious way. Just wrong. Like he wasn't supposed to be there. Then he noticed the doors, lining both sides of the hallway. Office doors, all closed, all identical, except for one, at the very end, slightly open, just enough to reveal darkness inside. He stayed inside the elevator. Every instinct told him not to leave, but then he heard something, a faint sound coming from the open door, like movement, slow, uneven. He stepped out before he could stop himself. The air was colder here, thicker. Each step felt heavier as he moved down the hallway. The elevator doors stayed open behind him. He could feel it, like it was waiting. The sound from the open room grew clearer. Not quite footsteps, not quite breathing. Something in between. He reached the door, pushed it open slowly. The room inside was empty, completely empty. No furniture, no windows, nothing, just darkness. And yet, the sound was still there, right behind him. He turned, too slowly. Standing at the end of the hallway was something that hadn't been there before. Tall, still, its shape unclear in the dim light, but wrong. Proportions just slightly off, like it didn't fully belong in the space it was standing in. It didn't move, didn't make a sound, but he knew. It had been the one in the elevator. The doors behind him suddenly began to close. He ran, not thinking, not looking back, just running. He reached the elevator just as the doors were about to shut and forced his way inside, hitting every button on the panel. The door slammed closed. The elevator jolted violently, then shot upward, faster than it should have been possible. The lights flickered rapidly. The display scrambled between numbers, then finally stabilized. 6. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. The normal hallway, bright, clean, silent, exactly as it should be. He stumbled out immediately, turning back just in time to see the elevator doors close on their own. The display above it flickered one last time, and for a split second, instead of a number, it showed that blank space again. He never used that elevator after that night, refused to go near it, and a few weeks later, he quit. Because sometimes, late at night, the security cameras would show the elevator moving again, stopping on floors that don't exist, doors opening to let something in, and closing before anyone else can see it.